We're moving along swimmingly, and now it's time to set up some formatting options. We last left off on the Basic tab. Let's go ahead and we can pass over the Publishing tab because we've already set all that information up. And let's go ahead and click the Formatting tab so that we can get to the formatting page. Now, there are a lot of options on this page that are they look fairly simple, but there's some details I want to talk to you about with each of them. So, for example, let's start with the first one. The first option is Show, and it offers you a number and an option of days or posts. This means how many actual posts will be displayed on your main page. If you're doing days, the problem with that is if you post a lot, that means your page is going to be very, very long. So you're going to want to kind of determine what's best for you. And as with most things on Blogger, you can always go back and change it. I typically like to show about 7 posts on my main blog page, so I'm going to set it to 7 posts. The next option is the date header format. And this is the date that will display for each individual blog post. And there are a number of different formats to choose from. It's really interesting because Blogger is an international tool. Anybody can use it in any country. And of course, there are different ways to write the date depending upon where you are. And some people like a more explicit date, such as using the day, the date, the month, the actual day of the month and the year, which is the default, or using a numeric option. I'm going to leave it at default because I kind of like the more verbose information. And then we choose an archive index date format. And this is the type of indexing. So when it's in the archive, how it'll show up. In other words, if on your archive list, you'll see links, correct? And then the links will have July 2004, June 2004, etc. So you can set it up to be like that, or you can set it up in a numeric format. And here you see a variety of options. Again, I like to be pretty verbose and clear, because in the default options, no matter where you are in the world, these make sense, as long as you're identifying it clearly like that. So I like to use that. The same thing goes for timestamp format. This is if you want to make sure that there's a time stamp on an individual post. And one of the reasons it's important to have a timestamp is that if you make multiple posts during the day, each of those will get a different timestamp so people can see the process of actually when you were writing that particular post. And it will fall, Blogger will have it fall sequentially into the blog. So once again, I like it to be fairly clear. You can be really explicit and show the seconds. You can just show the date. You don't have to show an actual time. You can show the date and the time. I think I'm just going to stick with standard U.S. time, and that would show it as 10:49 a.m. And then, of course, there's the time zone. And depending upon where you are in the country, in the U.S. or the world, you will have a different time zone. So go ahead and look through that and find the correct time zone for you. And because I am currently in the United States outside of Los Angeles, I'm going to go ahead and leave that at Los Angeles. And then you want the date language. This is the way that the date is displayed and what language it's in. So in other words, if you're in Latvia and you've selected to use Wednesday, July 14th as your particular date stamp, the Wednesday is a different word in Latvian. So you would select Latvian for that. Of course, I'm in U.S. English, so I'm going to leave it there. But you can make the decision based on your own situation.